Good morning, everybody. We're ready for Job chapter 8. And now it's Bildad's turn. What is Bildad's argument? Remember, we're listening to a debate between Job and his friends. And as we listen to this debate, we need to ask the kind of questions you would. So what is Bildad's argument? How long will you say such things? Your words are a blustering wind. Does God pervert justice? Does the Almighty pervert what is right? When your children sinned against him, he gave them over to the penalty of their sin. Now, this is kind of warped, but what's Bildad's argument? God doesn't pervert justice. Everything runs according to his justice. No, it doesn't. What do you know about God's mercy? And if God did give us justice, would anybody survive? So the point is, what's Bildad's argument here? What is he saying? And what is he saying about Job's kids? I mean, you want to rip the heart out of a dad is to tell the kids that just died didn't make it to heaven. I mean, this is hard. This is hard stuff. What is going on here? What is Bildad's argument? And so let's go on looking on down, chapter 8, verse 13. Such is the destiny of all who forget God, who perishes. So perishes the hope of the godless. Oh, that had to rip at his heart. Surely God does not reject one who is blameless or strengthen the hands of evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. So what's Bildad's argument here? And how do you tell a dad that just lost 10 kids, okay, suck it up, buddy, it'll get better? No, this is just like crazy. But notice Job's response. What was Job's response? Look at verse 2, chapter 9. Indeed, I know that this is true. Can you just feel for Job? No, Job, God doesn't deal with us according to justice. God deals us according to mercy. No, buddy, you don't have the whole picture here. But notice what his argument is. But how can mere mortals prove their innocence before God? What's Job's caveat here? In other words, yeah, I know God deals with us justly, but how can we prove our innocence before God? In other words, he wants his day in court. Well, that wouldn't go well for him. He doesn't know that yet. But anyway, notice the argument. How then can I dispute with him in verse 14? How can I find words to argue with him? Though I were innocent, I could not answer him. I could only plead for mercy. Exactly. But he's not there yet. You can go on. There's other verses here. But anyway, his argument is that God, none of us have a chance, which is true. But then there's this amazing statement that he makes here. And remember, there are some things that Job says that are very true, and God endorses a lot of things Job says, and this is one of them. If only there were someone to mediate between us. Okay? Mediate between us. Someone to bring us together. I mentioned Jesus here. Does he bring us together? Yes. Someone to remove God's rod from me so that his terror would frighten me no more. Then I would speak up without fear of him. But as it stands with me, I cannot. And that's the point. And so we have to ask some questions like, how is pain changing Job's view of God? And what does Job really want? He wants a mediator, and he's going to get one. It's just that he's living before the days of Jesus, not after the days of Jesus. So there's a lot of questions here, like, do we have the same kind of thinking in our head? Do we see that our life before God is just an act of mercy, that we have that pain, even pain itself, can be an act of God's mercy because he has so much to tell us from it. But anyway, we'll talk about this in a couple nights. I hope you guys are going to have a great day. God bless you.